Ubisoft ditches Steam, and PUBG is killing it on PlayStation. Let's jump into it. What is up, guys? Welcome to episode number 35 of Diggity, a video game podcast. I'm your host, Jeff James. As always, with me is the incredible, the unobtainable, Luscious Brody, inventor of the tampon.
Oh, Jesus.
You knew it was going to come out.
It was one day.
You knew it.
Oh, God. Here we are.
Absolutely. Hey, follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at Diggity Podcast. Also, subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Public, wherever you listen. And also subscribe to us on YouTube, Diggity Gaming. As the cool kids say, smash that like button, yo. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. You can get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial by heading over to audibletrial.com/diggity. That's DIGGITY. You get access to over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or your MP3 player. So head on over to audibletrial.com/diggity for your free audiobook download and 30-day free trial. This is indeed the Thursday episode. So with that, I'm going to roll quickly through the Diggity deals. You get two good deals. So one deal, believe it or not, is actually GameStop. So Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, Octopath Traveler, ARMS, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. They're all $41.99, so $42 through the buy download option on the GameStop website. And this is honestly probably like one of the only times that you actually save money on a Nintendo title, or most of these titles, to be honest with you.
Especially at GameStop.
Yeah, without having to buy like a bundle or something like that, right. You know? And then our second Diggity deal, where again, passing the savings on to you. I can wink now.
It's fucking creepy.
On the video
wink?
Well,
yeah. I got you.
On the YouTube.
Yeah, people can see you wink.
Right, which is, I mean, that makes it terrible content for the audio podcast because, like, what the fuck just happened? I think that's just like, pull his dick out. Like, what? I have no idea what happened. No, I just winked. So Amazon Prime users can get Spider-Man. That's Spider-Man for PS4 for $39.99 if you're a Prime member. This is a physical copy only, which is kind of weird. Like, the digital copy was full price, which I was kind of like, that's... I don't really get that, but whatever. So that's a great deal. We just talked last podcast that has sold like 9 million copies already. So it's definitely popular, and you should probably hit that up. So $40, you get yourself some Spider-Man. Get some Spidey butt.
All right.
Hit it up.
All right. So this month we. You got me. So this month we're getting two new games added to the Nintendo Switch Online, the NES emulator. God damn it! That Perry the Platypus Cup. God damn it!
This is a problem now that we've got YouTube, because again, the audio podcast just went, what the hell did Jeff just do? I'm drinking out of a Perry the Platypus mug for those on the audio podcast. So just so you know,
it's fantastic.
That's great, fantastic.
Yeah. But yeah, we're getting two new games added to the Nintendo Switch Online NES library that we have if you pay for the subscription.
Yes. So pumped.
It's awesome. But basically, we're getting Zelda 2 and Blaster Master. In the past, we've had 3 games, but we're actually only getting 2 this month because one of them is exclusive to Japan. And that game is Joy Mech Fight.
That's kind of bullshit, though. Like, just give me a third one for North America.
Yeah, find something that was North America exclusive and go ahead and send that our way. But no, I agree. I think that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I mean, what are we? Oh, I wonder what game we were missing out on.
Oh, you know what you have to do? You have to fight Reggie.
Like
this is it.
Fist fight or cage match?
Like a naked oil wrestling fight.
Oh, right. As one does. To settle a dispute.
Oh, absolutely. It's the proof who's the manliest.
Right.
One last piece of housekeeping before we get into the news. 4 games are leaving Game Pass soon. So the 4 games are The Division, Letter Quest, Riptide GP Renegade, and The Escapists, the Walking Dead version. There's no official word as to the exact date as to when these games will be off of Game Pass. But I mean, looking into the past, it's always been kind of weird, odd dates per title. Like it hasn't been like these 4 are leaving at the same time. Like it's just kind of been like, and this is leaving on January 17th, and this is leaving on January 28th, and this is leaving like blah blah blah. It's kind of weird how all the contracts end.
Right.
But we'll have to see. I'm kind of stunned that the Division honestly is leaving.
Especially with the Division 2 coming out. You would think they'd leave it on there. Just kind of let it ride until what was it? I think it comes out in March. I think it was middle of March. I think we talked about
March 15th.
Yeah.
March 15th. So, I mean, you can let that up to at least till February, and people would have probably garnished a little bit more interest or whatever. Like, I'm not really seeing a lot of marketing for Division 2 yet. I think it's just starting to ramp up.
Right. And you're starting to see a little bit, like you said, nothing too crazy, but I'm seeing it. I saw it when I bought my computer. They gave away if you bought something with an AMD processor in it or anything like that. Yeah, I got Division 2 on PC for free, and they also had Devil May Cry and I always forget the third one. Resident Evil 2. There we go.
Okay, got you.
Yeah,
sweet, man. Let's jump into news.
So Switchblade is going free to play on January 22nd. Switchblade is a 5 versus 5 vehicular MOBA that initially released on August 28th as an early access game. The game is now turning to the free to play model and will likely turn to microtransactions to keep the lights on, I would assume. The big question here is whether it's going to be solely cosmetics or if it's going to be kind of more the pay to win route, which nobody wants to see, obviously, and that kills games because people fucking hate that. But if it's cosmetics, I mean, yeah, sure, why not? But it'll be interesting to see how they take that game and turn it into something that can function as a free to play while still making money. I personally have not played this game. I did not purchase it, but once it goes free to play, I'll give it a shot. Why not?
I'm kind of actually stunned that they have to go to this. I thought this game was actually doing pretty well. But yeah. I mean, I guess they're going to go free to play. It's a model that it works if you can do it properly.
I mean, look at Fortnite.
Hopefully it's not. Yeah, well, Fortnite, Warframe, Paladins, like the list goes on and on and on. But yeah, we'll have to see how this rolls out. I think that they've always done a good job as a company, like in terms of how they market their stuff and how they speak to their community. So I'm kind of hoping that this succeeds. From what I understand and from very little that I've played of it, it's kind of like World of Tanks meets like Paladins meets like Rocket League, I guess, in the essence of the car, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a battle. You're going around just battling each other.
More like maybe like a Twisted Metal.
Yeah, that's actually a good example. Like a Twisted Metal, World of Tanks, and yeah, you have the mobile element to it. So, but hey, the free to play model works. We'll have to see if it works for this game. I hope to God that they don't make it like pay to win. I'm not a big player of it, but I could assume if people signed up for the early access and bought into some other stuff of this game and all of a sudden it went free to play, hopefully there's some perks for people, and hopefully it's not going to turn into just a shit show, to be honest with you. I've got a piece of news, and that is Ubisoft is choosing to place Division 2 on the Epic Store, but not Steam. So this is interesting because we talked about this a couple weeks back, saying that there's got to be some game coming out soon that's going to just be like F you Steam and is going to make that jump over to the Epic Game Store. So aside from the Division 2, it has been announced that Ubisoft and Epic will partner on additional select titles. This partnership will limit players to buying the PC version of the game to either the Epic Game Store or Ubisoft directly. So that's pretty huge. Like, you cannot get this anywhere else except for the Epic Game Store or from Ubisoft for PC, if you're a PC gamer. That's huge. That's massive. The fact that they're going to leave Steam for that, they either well, I'm assuming there's a couple of things, right? Like right off the bat, you're getting a cheaper royalty. So they're pretty happy about that because that's not taking off of their, gross revenue. But then on top of that, like Epic Games had to have paid them for this or something. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm sure Ubisoft is making a pretty good chunk of change off of this. I imagine this early on, Epic is definitely going to be dishing out some of that crazy money that they made last year to promote their store and get it definitely rolling. And I think the Division 2, I think it has enough hype behind it. I mean, even though the Division 1 kind of failed, not really failed, I guess, but it did fall on its face a little bit there at the beginning. And then they revised it, and through DLC, they fixed a lot of the things that was wrong with the game. So a lot of people are actually really looking forward to the Division 2. I know we're definitely looking forward to it. It's something that is absolutely going to be a day one buy for us, and we're going to play through. But I think.
What do you think other games are coming like to the game store? Like big games aside from Division 2,
especially from Ubisoft. I think, which we're
not even just from Ubisoft,
right?
Anything coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, but just focus on the Ubisoft thing for a minute. I think Assassin's Creed, but we've already been told that there is an Assassin's Creed game coming out this year. There is not. Sorry if I kind of slurred my words a little bit there. There is not an Assassin's Creed game coming out this year, but next year there should be, I would assume. But yeah, I think obviously a lot of your heavy hitters are going to be coming to the Epic Store from Ubisoft. But as far as other games coming out, it's interesting because I'm not sure. I have no clue, honestly, what else is going to be coming.
Do you think Anthem touches it all, or do you think EA keeps that into their Origin ecosystem?
I assume EA is going to keep it in Origin. I don't imagine that it's going to make it out of there. EA is very greedy as far as keeping everything, if they can make more money off it and not have to pay royalties out to anybody or anything like that, they're obviously going to do it. But I would assume that I think at this point, Anthem is close enough to coming out that they're not going to pull a fast one like that. And people probably already have it pre-ordered places and things like that or whatnot. So I'm thinking the next big game is going to be, maybe something that's coming out around summertime or getting closer to fall or something like that. I don't think we're going to see another big heavy hitter.
What about Crackdown 3?
And no, because that's Microsoft.
That's Microsoft.
Yeah. So that's going to be exclusive to the Microsoft Store.
Releases when they're still on Steam.
Yeah, I don't know if this one will though, because it's one of the games that's coming to Game Pass. That's supposed to be a big Game Pass seller and stuff like that, and it's also a Play Anywhere title, I believe. Question mark.
So I've got a list here of games, and here's what I think. I think Doom Eternal, I think will come to Epic Game Store.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that one for sure.
I think Kingdom Hearts 3, if it ever came to PC build, would be on that. I think Metro Exodus would be on that eventually. I could see Rage 2 coming to that.
Yeah.
Also, so
what about the newer Far Cry game that's coming out? Far Cry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shit, whatever. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah.
I can see Spelunky 2 just coming there and getting bought out. This is going to be crazy, but so I think Nintendo sells codes on the Epic Game Store.
Okay.
For digital downloads for them. And the only reason why I say that is because Humble actually started doing that and selling those.
I just saw that. That was fairly recent.
On the US side of things. So I don't know if that's singled out to them, but I could see them doing it. I could see Beyond Good and Evil 2 coming to Epic Game Store. I think they're going to get most of the AAAs, dude, that aren't.
You think so?
Yeah, I really do. I think they're just going to shit on Steam. They're just going to go ham. They don't give a damn. They're going to go ham.
They got money to spend this year. I mean, they might as well and get a good start off to the Epic Store, because otherwise, I mean, you don't want to milk it out for too long. You want to come in strong, and I think they're doing an excellent job. And
absolutely,
especially I think the Division 2 that's a huge win for them for sure. I'm sure it probably cost a decent penny, but I think you're right. I think a lot of the AAA games are going to come to Epic, and whether Epic has to pay for it, for the first game or not, or whatever, however they work it out, I'm sure that is absolutely something that's going to happen.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely, dude. All right, what's the next piece of news?
PUBG is doing extremely well on PlayStation, which is kind of surprising because PUBG seemed to be kind of going downhill as far as player base, and this kind of seemed to breathe a little bit of life back into it. PUBG managed to be the most downloaded game of December in 2018. As we've kind of talked about before, PUBG finally released on the PlayStation 4 after previously being on PC and a little bit later on Xbox. And it even actually came to phones before it came to PlayStation, which I assume was probably from a deal with Microsoft to have it exclusively on Xbox for an extended period of time. But to round out the top 5 downloaded games on PlayStation for the month of December, there was at number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. At number 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, which is insane that that's still staying there, man. God, they're just making so much money
each month.
It's fucking crazy. And then at number 4, you got Red Dead Redemption 2. And number 5.
Take that in. Yeah. Red Dead 2 is doing less than Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, it's insane.
Still.
And then actually this one surprised me a little bit too. At number 5, they have Battlefield 5, which
that's good.
I didn't think the sales for Battlefield 5 had been doing what, I haven't heard doing very well. Yeah, no, it's been pretty quiet. It's been real quiet actually.
I mean, what are we into at launch? What, like a month into it launching now?
Yes. No. Yeah.
Month and a half? Month and a half?
God.
Oh, God. When did it launch? It launched like what, December? I'll look it up.
It was November 11th? Does that sound?
November 20th. November
20th. Right.
Okay, so it's been more than once. It's been like a month and a half almost.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you probably won't get sales numbers for... I don't...
It's probably going to be a little bit yet until we see sales numbers for it, I would think. I would think they would...
see what it did.
Yeah, I am too, because it doesn't seem like it sold all that well just from all the publicity around it, but that could also just be, it could also just be, the news doing what news does.
Right.
But yeah, it's, that whole list is kind of surprising to me. I mean, it's been a little while since we've seen, a Call of Duty dominate this much. I mean, it always sells well, but I mean, this one is absolutely killing it. And then you got Battlefield 5 in there, which has been very, very mixed on the review side. So
it's just stunning it all to you, though, the fact that it's like number 1.
Absolutely. As many issues as we've seen with it on, Xbox and things like that. Like I've played it on Xbox. We played it quite a bit, and that's one of the few games I'll actually rage quit. Like I can't play it anymore. I'm done.
Can't play it on Xbox.
But I have played it on PC now, and I will say it runs way better on PC, which I'm not surprised at all. But at the same time, I assume that the PlayStation release is very similar to what it is on Xbox, and a lot of people absolutely despise it on console. I mean, hell, it runs better. It runs better on your phone than it does on console.
Yeah, I think the only reason why it's at the top though is because it launched on it. Like, I mean, if you think about it from a PlayStation perspective, like exactly to your point, it was on a friggin' phone before you came to your console yet. So it's like this is finally your chance to try it out, and it's like, well, I mean, I get it's also. It's not free, right? It's not on no, it's not on PSN Plus.
I don't think so.
Okay,
no, but I mean, if it launched at the same price point that it did on Xbox, which I assume it did.
No, I think it went full. I think it went full pop because it wasn't early access.
That's right. It
wasn't early access.
Can you imagine if we would have paid $60 for that game and had all
Is it fucking $60?
If it's full pop, that's what I'm saying. Like depending on how they launched it on Xbox, it was $30. On PC, I believe it is also $30. So I know it is, out of early access now, but
it's $30.
$30. Okay, good. I was going to say, good God, can you imagine?
Holy shit. Yeah,
but I think I agree. I think it's just
we bought it for.
Yeah,
really.
Yes,
I thought we bought it for like 15 or something because we were like part of like way early access, and then it went to 30. No.
Wow. It was 30.
Jeez. Damn.
Yeah. So I think I fully agree with you that the main reason it sold so well is just because it's new to the platform, and it is such a game that is talked about regardless of.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's been played.
It's infamous, if nothing less. So, yeah,
absolutely. So Kirby and Yoshi, they got release dates for March for their own respective games. So the official announcement came from Nintendo. So Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn is coming first on March 5th to the 3DS, and it'll be at a price point of $39.99. You can pre-order this right now on Amazon if you want. And Yoshi's Crafted World rounds out at the end of the month with a release of March 29th, and that one's for Nintendo Switch. So it's a full pop Nintendo game at $59.99. I'm excited for Yoshi's Crafted World.
Looks really cool.
Don't really care about Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, and I'll tell you why. Because it's on 3DS. Like I don't care about my 3DS anymore, and I don't know if that's just me. I don't think it is, but I don't. I guess there's a market to still make these games. Clearly, but I mean, like when do they? I don't know.
I don't know, man. That's something that since we started doing this podcast, we've talked about, or since I've gotten my Switch, I've really thought about, because it's one of those things. I bought the 3DS like a year before I got my Switch, and so I used it just because it was nice to have a handheld around, and you can play a little bit here and there and put it down, but once the Switch came out, I hardly play my 3DS. Every great once in a while, I'll go back to it just to play like Fire Emblem or something like that. But other than that, it's
crazy. Because at the start, I was like, well, it makes sense if it makes money. It makes money. But then it's also like, and then I was like, no, focus attention to the Switch. But it's like, sorry there. But it's kind of like, if this game was on Switch, do they even need that to be on Switch? Because there's some great games that have come out on Switch over the last couple months.
Oh, absolutely.
Like every month there's something good coming out on the Switch, it would seem. And it's just kind of like it's weird. They have so many properties and they can do so many things with it. Like they don't even need to release a Kirby on that. And obviously the 3DS still prints money for them, but it's like, how much longer will that actually print money for them? Like it's astonishing to me, because like when it was first announced, you and I talked about the Switch and how we thought, like, why would you do this? It's basically cannibalizing your 3DS, your handheld market, which is fine if they came out as like, this is a handheld, and by the way, it just so happens that you can dock it.
See,
cool. No problem.
I think the only thing that is saving the 3DS at this point is it's easier to buy for younger children.
Price point.
Yeah, because the price point is low, so you don't have $300 in a console that kids are carrying around. So, I mean, if you spend $300 on a console, right, your Switch, and you let your kid carry it around and he fucking breaks it, that's a big deal. If you spend $80 on a console,
is it $80 for 2DS?
For the doorstop 2DS, yeah.
What about the new 2DS? What's that?
The new 2DS? No, it's like 100. I think you can get it on sale for like 130, but I think 150 is what it came out at.
150. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So, spending that kind of money and something happening to it is different than spending obviously twice that money or three times the amount of money. And I think it's a lot easier pill to swallow for parents and to buy it for their children. I think that's the only thing saving it, really.
Right. Well, I mean, we've had this discussion before. Like, you wouldn't trust your kids to lug the Joy-Cons and the Switch to school, and
no, God no,
without a scratch on it.
God no. my kids are so clumsy.
No, man, I just find it fascinating that they still want to do the 3DS stuff. Cool, prints money. I guess they'll just keep doing it, but I don't know how long it's going to live for.
Right.
I mean, I guess how many 3DSs have been sold? I'm gonna try to find that. Hit us with the next piece of news.
All right. So next we got Sony Interactive Entertainment has bought Audio Connect.
Holy shit!
What's that?
Oh my God!
I know it's an ungodly number.
75 million units.
Oh yeah. You know how many of those are in Japan too?
Sorry. The Nintendo DS product line are the best-selling consoles. 154 million in total.
That's crazy.
Holy crap.
Is that including like the DS and the DS Lite and things like that? And the DSi? Or is that just
that one was, but the 70-something is from the own so it's Nintendo 3DS. Here's the breakdown. So Game Boy, including Game Boy Color, they sold 119 million units. Game Boy Advance sold 81 million units. Nintendo DS sold 154 million units. So that's DS, DS Lite, and DSi. And then the Nintendo 3DS line has sold 73 million units. Nintendo has sold over 700 million total hardware units in its life cycle as a company.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah. It's
holy crap, man.
And I think, until the money dries up there, they're going to keep making shit there.
The Wii sold 101 million units.
Oh, yeah. It sold like crazy.
The Wii U, 13 million units. The Nintendo Switch.
Oh, God. I didn't know it was that low.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The Nintendo Switch, as of August 2018, was at 20 million units. I'm sure, obviously, it's gone up because of.
See,
holidays.
I don't. Okay, yeah, that's right. Gotcha. Yeah, that's crazy.
This is the problem too. Is like there was that weird thing where a couple of weeks ago, oh my gosh, the company president had said that Nintendo could shift away from home consoles, right? And it's like you can see that with the Switch being kind of like this bastard child of like a console, where it's like it doesn't know what it wants to be, if it wants to be handheld or if it wants to be a home console. But if that's the course that they're going to go with, like, then that's
I'm cool with that.
Right, but that's killing 3DS. And it's like,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, but I mean, after coming off of, a console that sold only 13 million, the Wii U, and it had, 5 years in its life cycle? Like, that's not very good. So if the money's not there because you can't compete with Xbox or PlayStation at this point, which again, Nintendo never really has been trying to compete, but at the same time, if the money's not there, if they're not getting what they need to get out of that console, I mean, why keep doing it? This hybrid bastard child of a console, like you said, it works. I fucking love it. I love it too. I take it all over the place. I play it more handheld than I do docked, but at the same time, every once in a while, it's great to play it docked. It's easy to bring to your house and play my games in your dock or whatever, and we play, Mario Party or whatever. And I think it was such a smart move by them. But like you said, it does kind of smother their handheld sales.
So kind of extending question on this because we've got lots of time to discuss, but there are rumors going around about a new Nintendo Switch. Mm-hmm. So 2 questions on this. The first one I'll ask is, what do you think the new Nintendo Switch has that's different on it? And 2, well, let's just answer the first one. What do you think the new one has?
We've kind of done something similar to this in the past, but it's been a while, so it is probably a good time to retouch on it. But I think I think they're either going to go one of 2 ways with it. I think they're either going to go smaller with Joy-Cons that don't actually detach.
Come on. So like a mini.
Right. Like a mini.
Like a 199?
Yeah.
Switch
come in at a lower price point, and now you can completely replace your 2DSs, which is fine because the technology is dated, obviously. So if you get a smaller Switch in there, smaller screen, the Joy-Cons might not detach, but you can still dock it and play it with other controllers or something like that. And then you get, I mean, obviously on a mini, you're going to lose some features, but as long as the core gameplay and everything's still there, it should be fine. Or maybe even both. I think they're going to go for like an XL, like they also like to do. They like to take something and make it, put a bigger and maybe better screen on there or something like that, where now you can, choose what price point you want to come in. Say you want to go middle of the road, you can get your, the $300 Switch, or it'll probably price drop.
You're talking about doing like 2 or 3 SKUs.
Yeah, I'd say keep
That's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I think.
Yeah, keep the main Switch, get a mini, get a lower price point so you can get more people in on it. And at that, the way they could do that is now you're still representing your handheld, and you can kill off the 3DS without killing off your handheld sales, like a lone handheld, and then now you
like a stepping stone now.
Right. And now you got, the XL for the people that want the bigger and the better. And, for, just sitting around your house and playing handheld or whatever. Cause I know I do that a lot. And I've heard of a lot of people that actually do they're just playing at home, sitting on their couch.
I usually play handheld too. I mean, the only time I'm using a dock is like when we do like a party game, like a Snipper Club.
Right. Absolutely.
Other than that, I mean, it's great just as a handheld.
Yeah, and I play it as a handheld solely because now I don't have to have, a TV. I'm not tying up the TV. The wife can watch whatever she wants, and I can sit there and play, Octopath Traveler or whatever and just grind on through.
But you could do that on your Wii U, Brody.
Yeah, well, don't stray too far from the wall. You gotta plug that bitch in.
No, I think you're like spot on, man. I was kind of thinking the exact same thing. I was thinking 3 SKUs, but mine's a little different. So I totally agree on one where the Joy-Cons don't detach, and that is just a. Actually, you know what? No, I don't. Because what the fuck do you do with a game like Mario Party?
I think if you dock it, you'd still be able to use other controllers. So yeah, you're losing out
fucking Joy-Cons and stuff.
They don't care.
That's true. You're right. Okay, so maybe they do something like that. I think they do something where it's just a fucking box, dude.
Just a regular console edition.
Yeah,
of it?
I think they do something where it's just like this like shitty little like plastic box, and you put the game in there, and then it comes with 2 Joy-Cons and like the like no dock. It comes with 2 Joy-Cons and the stupid like controller holder for the Joy-Cons that you get with a Switch normally, and I think they do that, and that's like a cheap price point. And then it's up to you to go buy like pro controllers or like more Joy-Cons for it. But I think that's like something that they do.
I think that'd be an interesting move, considering the whole point of the Switch is to be able to play both, handheld and docked.
Yeah, but people would do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I
fully agree.
You express the thing where it's like you have too young of kids. It's like, well, I want them to play the newest Mario game. Okay, we'll just get the home console, right? Instead of the whole tablet that they can carry around. And then I think what the rumors are saying, I think is what they're basically going to do as well, is just make that screen bigger. But I don't think they're going to make the actual console any bigger.
Just get rid of the bevel.
Just get rid of the bezel.
The bezel.
Yeah. They're just going to get rid of the bezel, and I think maybe they make the screen 1080p instead of 720.
Yeah, and maybe not make it out of plastic.
Well, yeah, and I think they still make it out of plastic because I think the reason why they make it out of plastic is so it can breathe.
Okay. It just scratches so easy. You gotta have a screen protector on there, or you'll just ruin it.
Screen itself. I thought you meant
screen.
Like
yeah. No,
so
the
for
screen.
The screen, I think that they eventually like go and use like Gorilla Glass.
Yeah,
like at least a decent version of Gorilla Glass, and then I think that they go to like an OLED screen. They'll save like battery power, and then I think that they use a processor in it as well, so that they can conserve more battery power and get like an extra half hour to an hour. Extra.
You think it's going to be a little fatter? Maybe not so much bigger.
I think the same form factor. Well, because how much you can't really make it any thicker because you like they've kind of fucked themselves over the Joy-Con.
The dock. Well, and the Joy-Con. Yeah,
right?
that's
like
true.
They fit flush, right? If you try to make something thicker, you can't wrap your hands around it. But that's the thing that if the Joy-Cons were detachable from the get-go, cool, then no problem. Like it's whatever. You just you redo the whole thing. But now that you have these things that have to slide on and off and they have to be flush, like you're kind of that's it. Like that's the form factor you're stuck to. Yeah. So that's why I don't see them even doing like a larger unit in actual like the size of the actual device.
Because you
have to make
yourself on
Joy-Con XLs or something like that.
That's true.
But
at the same time, I mean, right?
So Joy-Con XLs now are $100 instead of $80 for a set or something like that. But we'll have to see. Anyways, you want to hit us with our last piece of news?
Yeah. So the last piece we got here is Sony Interactive Entertainment bought Audio Kinetic. Audio Kinetic is the leading global provider of audio solutions for the gaming and interactive media industries. The company is best known for their product WYs, a comprehensive audio middleware solution. Audio Kinetic will continue to operate independently despite being bought by Sony Interactive, and the acquisition is expected to close by January 31st, 2019. So this is kind of an interesting move, considering it's kind of along the same lines of how Sony kind of started. I mean, before they started doing PlayStation and things. But at the same time, it's a lot more specialized, and especially in the day and age that we live in, being more specialized in a specific thing is much better.
Well, it's also the gaming industry's like biggest audio tool set.
Right. Yeah. And you'll see, you'd be surprised if you went back and played quite a few different games. You'd actually see that WYs come up on the screen as
it's a weird
loaded.
Logo.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of like, it's kind of like amoebas and like dots and stuff like that. Like just a bunch of dots, a series of dots together.
Yeah. After I saw the logo, I hadn't even realized that I had seen it 1.5 million times.
No, it's just one of those things, right? Where I think it's just a revenue builder for Sony.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I can
yeah.
take of it. But they say that 500 games per year use the company's audio tools.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I saw. That's insane. And like I said, I didn't even realize that was there half the time, because I mean, how often are you actually really looking at the companies in the load up screen and shit like that? But after I saw the logo for it, I'm like, God damn, I've seen that 1 million times. Starting up a game, and there it is. But I think I fully agree. This is absolutely just more profit in Sony's pocket, and I don't know if it's really going to change anything on, like the PlayStation 5 or anything like that. But I think for the most part, it's going to be predominantly just to get more money.
There was a great article in Ars Technica. So the CEO, John Cadera, who's the president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, stated that this acquisition will allow us to further grow the PlayStation platform and contribute to the broader gaming industry. It's our goal to support Audio Kinetic's efforts to advance its audio technology while maintaining independence and platform neutrality. And then Ars Technica wrote that that's all well and good, but what is Sony's angle in acquiring a sound tool studio that will continue to provide tools to outside studios and possibly its console producing competitors, Microsoft and Nintendo? The answer may be the sheer financial boon of selling these tools to every studio known to man, or it could come in the form of developing new proprietary audio technologies for future Sony products. I think it's going to be a mixture of the two. They're saying that Ars Technica's inside source, Birdies, frequently mention audio systems development as a priority at various hardware companies, particularly those with designs on next generation virtual reality systems. And those suspicions only grew at this year's Oculus Connect, where that company's engineering leads, Michael Obrash and John Carmack, spoke openly about efforts such as potential audio research. They just want to make a bunch of money. It's probably a tool that they use all the time, and now they don't have to pay for it, and they know that everyone else is paying for it. So, like, why not go acquire it? Like, to be honest with you, I don't know why Epic Games isn't going around and making a ton of acquisitions on tool sets and stuff like that to just bring into their engine and just, that's it.
That is kind of a good point, because I hadn't thought about it until you said it, but yeah, it would absolutely make sense for Epic to go around and buy up a bunch of tools, because somebody's going to use it. And
because you can just allow everyone to use them, or you can just say, and you can only use these on Unreal. Get them into the ecosystem, right? Like, it's all about building the ecosystem now with any company. Just getting someone into it and then closing the door, and they're just locked into that ecosystem, and they can't. Well, I mean, it's crazy, right? Like, if you even look at a company like a Salesforce, now as soon as a company starts using a service like Salesforce, a platform like that, I mean, how do you fucking stop that? Right? Like, that's how your company makes money, right? Yeah. So in this instance, it's like, how do you stop from having to use this tool set? You fucking can't. There's 500 games a year, and the 500 games aren't like pilly little games. They're majority AAA games,
right? Absolutely.
Using these, so I mean, it's an incredible smart business move. But nonetheless, we'll have to see what Sony does with it. Hopefully, they're not evil with it. I think the last, I don't know if you had mentioned it, but the acquisition is expected to close by January 31st, 2019. So that's pretty soon. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Well, guys, that does it for our podcast and our YouTube video podcast for the Thursday show. And we'll be back for the Monday show. Today's podcast was brought to you by Audible. Like we said at the start, you can get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial by heading on over to audibletrial.com/Diggity. That's Diggity. You get access to over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or your MP3 player. So head on over to audibletrial.com/Diggity, get your free audiobook download and 30-day free trial. As always, thank you so much to the Amazon and Audible team for sponsoring the podcast. Remember, guys, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Diggity Podcast. You can subscribe to us on YouTube now, Diggity Gaming. If you're watching the video podcast right now, you're going to have to go enter Jake Paul, smash that like button, yo, and hit the subscribe. God, it hurts to say that. Anyways, subscribe. And once you subscribe, you see a little bell also. Click the bell because subscribing now on YouTube means absolutely nothing. It just means that you hit a button. And if you want to be notified that we actually have new videos coming up and new video podcasts coming up, you actually have to hit the bell, or else you'll never know. It'll just kind of be like lost on the side. So that's always great. Good job, YouTube. You can follow me on Xbox One. My gamer tag is Maple Jeff. Brody, what is yours?
It is Luscious Brody.
Sweet. Awesome. Leave us a review. It helps us out a ton. You can leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify, even on YouTube. We take feedback pretty good. Feedback makes the show better. And also leaving a review helps us get a little bit more exposure for the podcast. And until next time, guys, we'll see you for the Monday show. See ya.